We're going to call the meeting to order. This meeting of the Adrian Human Relations Commission is called to order. So if you would, to help me with names today, I ask that each member that's here today, starting to my right, to my far right, state your name and if you're present or not, which will be obvious when you speak.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrea Bernard.
Thank you.
My name is Hayden McGowan.
Commissioner Aaron Cheshire.
Good evening. My name is Michaela Giles.
Good evening. My name is Maura Bott.
Good evening. My name is Tony Lee Isom.
Outstanding. Do we have a member missing tonight?
Yes, Elise Clark.
Elise Clark is missing for the record for the voluntold person taking notes tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much. I would ask that by roll call vote, if someone would make a motion to approve the agenda as stated before you.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please. No, I'm sorry. To the right. I'm sorry. Everyone's name. You could help me.
Do you want me to say or
Yeah, go
um what do we call commissioner member?
ahead.
Commissioner Bernard?
Present.
Are we yes?
Yes.
Okay. So say yes if you agree to the agenda. Commissioner McGowan,
Yes.
Commissioner Cheshire, yes. Commissioner Giles,
Yes.
Commissioner Bott,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom. Yes.
Right. The agenda's been approved. I appreciate that. We're going to move over to public comment. Looks like there's no one online right now for public comment. Anyone in the audience today would like to make public comment regarding today's meeting agenda items only. Wonderful. Seeing no comment, we're going to move on to training. Well, training is going to fall on me. One of the things that we want to do with training today is cover a number of topics. There could be legal issues that come to be, and we would move those through my office and to the city attorney if we have anything that needs to be addressed that we can address today and ongoing throughout these meetings. The one thing that's important to communicate is I'm going to read some of these items, but the Opens Meeting Act is really important. You are now called to be on this commission for the city of Adrian. And the topics are going to be real important that we don't discern or communicate, deliberate outside this room as it relates to topics that they're in front of us. It won't be uncommon where four of you may meet at a different location, but just be mindful of that as we move forward. There's a lot of people that are going to be watching, and rightly so. Just be aware of that. And that goes to devices communicating either through phone or through your digital devices of today's time. So just keep that in mind. So I'll read a few things as it relates to that. A meeting occurs whenever there is a quorum to deliberate on public policy decisions. All meetings must be properly noticed, open to the public, conducted with an opportunity for public comment. Commissioners cannot make decisions or build agreement outside properly noticed public meetings. This means no back and forth conversation in small groups, no passing messages member to member, and to reach a majority, no decision making through text, email, or social media. If a subcommittee includes enough members to equal a quorum, it must follow the same Open Meetings Act rules of a full commission. That brings me to the other point I want to mention. This commission, this body that you're a part of, exists. It's under it's a unit underneath the city of Adrian. It's an advisory. It's coordinating and connecting. It does not bind the city to any contracts or financially obligate the city to do anything. We want to make the motion, we would do that through the mayor's office. And you would bring that through me to the mayor, and she could decide whether or not we want to put that on for the full commission to decide. We would do that through good communication. We would write memos. We would write a resolution if the mayor believes it should be on the agenda, but we would do that through good conversation, probably developed out of this meeting. So with that, funding requests, program expansions, they must throw through that public trust channels. So with that, I'd like to move over to FOIA. So we set the ground rules around this. I just communicated some of the ways that we communicate. Just keep in mind when you're communicating on business as it relates to the city, under the Michigan Freedom of Information Act, documents, emails, text messages, digital communication, volunteer logs, social media messages related to the commission's business are public records. Use of personal devices does not exempt you. That is a falsehood. You may have heard it over the years. I'm fairly well versed on it through my years before I came here. That device is open to the public if you're conducting city business on that. And right now, you're conducting city business. And if you communicate about what we're doing here for the city, that would be subject to FOIA. Some of the things that could happen, it may come to your attention because some of the goals here are connecting, and I'm sure Commissioner will speak to this, but some of the things that you do and connect people with in potential areas of focus will be faith and spiritual outreach, cultural and language outreach, community outreach, distribution of materials that way, social media and digital communications, city systems and navigation. So some of those things are real important because that will cause you to be subject to FOIA. And also you're protecting folks' rights, helping people understand that this government, this unit of government is for them in all forms, city, county, townships, state, village, which are my mind. When I look at this commission, you're helping people understand that government works for them, all people. Bottom line, all people. So some of the civil rights, so to speak, or ordinance or laws would be bigger than just what this commission can do. So forwarding that to the right location would be important. Communication piece and the way you do that would be important. So think about that as we communicate. When people bring you issues that need to be discerned, maybe investigated, finding the right path to push that forward and not just harboring that because you are connecting all citizens to their government. And if you find that there's been violations, you might be, depending how well we do, you might be the person that brings forth that communication to the next level and helps, more importantly, create the change that most likely is needed. So volunteer management, the one thing I want to mention too, our roles, I want to make sure if we're working with the public, we represent the city. When those issues come up, we would do, it's a background investigation. It's a light background investigation. We're probably not going to be knocking on neighbors' doors and things like that, but we want to make sure that those that we're working with and for are safe. And we do that informally. So just be aware of that. Grant compliance and if there's any conflicts of interest, is the commission, if we could pursue grants, it'll be through the full commission. We'll have to follow all reporting requirements, grant administration, use of funds and restrictions that are allowed through not only the feds, the state and locally. I say that just because you've seen some of the things that I've been a part of since I've been here in the city of Adrian. I say it now, I'm not saying we're going to be able to reach out and write a grant tomorrow morning, but depending on how we do as a commission, they could get to that point. We're going to do things the right way and we're going to document the same. So keep in mind, your First Amendment's not limited just because of what I said today. The commission will respect the constitutional protections that are afforded by all folks, including this body. Just because you signed up for this role doesn't mean you've lost your constitutional rights. Just be aware you may be subject to some things that a lot of individuals that volunteer or in their jobs are not subject to. When you work for the government or you're a unit of government, you are subject to um, sunshine, so to speak. The government should be open to its citizens, so just be mindful of that. That's about it for me for our initial training. Is there any thoughts or anything that came in your role as a private citizen or as your current role as a commissioner that we should speak to today, as it relates to the roles of each of the individual members?
It's a great question. 1 second.
Specific to training, are there any concerns about roles and responsibilities or how that will flow from this commission?
I don't know. Kind of. So I'm really glad that everybody that's here is here. When everybody put their applications in, I'm glad that we have a fair amount of young people. I'm glad that we have a returning member of the HRC. I think that'll be really important to help guide us through, what where we left off before it came back as a commission, and then the things that have changed from when you did serve on the last HRC. Administrator Ball will be able to help us kind of merge the two. Um, I'm also really glad that you're here because I think that we really needed the administrator on the last HRC and to provide that guidance too. But as far as like rules and procedures, does anyone have any questions from what I've sent you or what I've talked to you about or anything from like the application?
Well, I guess being privy to be on the HRC in the past, the difference is now we're in a new day and a new time and things are happening in a different way. All of us are impacted by what's going on in our world, which makes it more difficult sometimes for people to speak without being angry or challenge or feel that their challenges are there. I see our job as being innovative and proactive as well to help try to give reason for some of the things that are challenging the people in our community. Our community is a vast community, and if we are going to move forward and help the people that are needing the help, then we have to be open to receive whatever they say to us without taking it personal. I think the challenge is that we keep our anger tied down or our frustration tied down. And as we move forward in renovating the HRC, because it is a renovation, we have to keep in mind that there are some things that don't change. And what does not change is the law. And if you're not willing to follow the law, then you're in the wrong place because it's more responsibility for us to be the leaders of making sure that we do what's right all the time. So the challenge I feel today is that we have to embrace people that are different. And people are different in many different ways. And one is mentally. The challenges that our mental psyche has today is not what was happening last year even. So now we have people that are in service, that are in war, that are in another part of the world, that are fighting for us. So what we have to do is fight for them here, but fight what you can make changes with. Don't fight things that don't matter. We don't need to be busy with things that may just be personal. Let's figure out how to embrace each other and respect every age, every culture, and the differences that we embody. That's what makes us great.
Okay. I think it'd be the proper time to move on to the next item on our agenda today, and it'd be officer selection. I believe the proper format for that would allow for you to run with this, but Aaron, and decide with the team here who the officers are, but we'll do that through a voice vote. Once there's motions and there's a second, then we'll do a voice vote after.
Can you explain for the whole commission how to correctly motion, second, things like that?
Yeah, so let's say I'm not eligible, so there's a, bless you if you sneeze there. If you want to nominate me for a certain position, we would look for someone who would feel compelled to say, I second that, and or I make a motion to nominate so and so. And we'd look for a second, then we would do a voice vote, which would be all in favor. Yes or no, so.
So discussion on it? Okay, great.
Turn over to you.
So discussion on it. What are so the officers are the four main ones, correct? So it's the chair, vice chair, treasurer, and secretary, correct?
Right.
Okay. I feel that starting with the secretary would not be a bad option. Discussion wise, I voluntold one already, and and I know him to have a master's in communication. Yes. Journalism, better. And and I think he always does a great job when he's writing anything. And notes are something that you also have to do when you're doing anything as a master's program. So I would feel very comfortable with Hayden McGowan being the secretary, unless anybody else had any thoughts, discussions, questions, concerns, comments, or want it to be this the secretary.
Did your motion?
Well, this is my discussion. So is, how do you all feel?
I'm gonna turn that into a motion.
Okay, well, how do, oh yeah, so we motion second
Yes,
discussion.
motion, so now discussion.
We think.
Great. So we need a second.
Second,
So through a voice vote, I will ask, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
All opposed?
Can we have the correct spelling of your name, please?
HaydenMcGowan.
A-N?
yeah, sweet.
What is the next position you want to entertain?
The treasurer, how do we feel about that? I think everyone should just kind of give their thoughts on the treasurer position. Actually, before we do that, do you have clarification that me as a city rep, I cannot be any of these positions?
I believe that's true.
Okay, that's how I was operating, hoping, understanding. Yes. So how do we feel about the treasurer position?
I just want to ask, what would the treasurer position for this particular body entail?
My assumption, if we could discuss that for a moment, is probably not much in the beginning. We could probably even leave that vacant for a while. But I believe there wouldn't be a lot of things to account for at the beginning. But at some point, that could be something we need to move on right away. When we start having events or something to that effect that's approved by the commission. It'll be a flow through, so you'll be communicating directly with my office, which would be the finance director on the city side that will make sure they account for everything that you're accounting for. But it would be public, it would be discussed. At this meeting, you'll see if you were to be that person, you would report to the public in this dais what the funding level would be. So you would say you have $1 million to donate to the city's general fund, then we would accept it. So, all right.
Do you know what the budget was for the HRC at this point?
I do not.
Okay. I don't remember.
Prior to doesn't matter anymore.
That's fair.
I could defer to Michelle. She may remember.
Yeah.
Mayor, was it 10 at one time or am I way off? I know it was like a certain number and then it went down.
10, 10 what?
You
10,
don't remember?
$10?
Sorry, 10. I thought there was a 10,000 line item at one time, but I don't recall for sure. Was it two? I can go back and look.
That's fair. Okay, but so our budget is not anything like even some nonprofits that we're a part of. It's gonna be low, but I think I mean, to me, that is good. Makes it more feasible, even if you've not been a treasurer in a different position. I think it's something that's not gonna be a huge undertaking.
The funds will be held with the city. You'll be reporting publicly and working with the city to identify what the line items are in a different detailed budget.
So would anyone like to volunteer? If
We
nobody,
have an admission, not a motion.
if if nobody here wanted to volunteer, I had previous discussions with Elise about if she wanted to have any handle on an officer position, if she would be interested. And she said that if she, if nobody else wanted to do the treasurer, that she wouldn't mind. But I wanted to make sure everybody else here had a say first. Can we still nominate her if she's not here?
You could make a motion. That's a good way to make a motion for the person that's not here.
Okay. Well then, yep, I motion for Elise Clark to take that treasurer position then.
Discussion. All right, you have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, we have a treasurer.
Can you give us the correct spelling of her name?
Yes, it is Elise. Clark is Clark.
Thank you.
Yes. Does it make more sense to do the chair or the vice chair next? What do you think? Yeah,
Okay, can you explain the differences between the two?
absolutely, Chad.
The chair of the meeting will be running the meeting. The vice chair will perform that role and that support service as a leader of this group when that chair is unavailable.
Okay, so we should probably start with the chair then. And then, the support for it. So, yeah, discussion on our thoughts for who would like to be the chair.
I wouldn't mind being the chair. I don't know if you can nominate yourself.
Yes, you sure can, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Good. I'm glad we have interest. Great. I think that you'd be a wonderful choice. I would motion for how do you say your last name again? Because I think I messed it up the first time.
You did.
Yeah.
It's Giles.
Thank you. Okay. I motion for Michaela Giles to be the chair for the HRC.
Discussion, please. All right, we have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Spell your first name, please.
MykaYla.
N-Y.
MykaYla. Giles, Giles. have to whisper in that mic because
Perfectly, Chair.
Okay. And then that leads us with the vice chair, so the support role for the chair and the second in command for leading the meetings when the chair is not here. If anyone is interested.
I'm interested. I've vice chaired before. I don't mind vice chairing. It's nice.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do you sound hesitant with your interested question
I
mark?
don't know. I only sound hesitant just because I always sound hesitant. I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Is there a motion out there? Is there a motion?
I motion for Tony Eisen to be our vice chair.
Discussion? All right. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have a vice chair.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Would you like me to spell my name?
Yes.
So Tony is Toni, and then Isom is Isom. Very symmetrical.
All right, now we have a board. This is great. We got through the uncomfortable parts of this meeting, and it's always good to start with the rules and nominate folks you may have never met before to lead you. Now we can move into the next portion of the meeting as set by Aaron. Thank you for doing the agenda today. The agenda setting process.
Yeah, so how do we do that?
Oh, we could-
I'm not a part of those meetings for the city, so I don't know how you all do that. I know for the city commission you have to have two commissioners to put something on the agenda, and I know, or if you're the mayor, none of us are the mayor. But yeah, how is it going to work here? Is it more of a collaborative, like if anybody wants anything on the agenda, we text or call or email into you or Michaela and Tony?
I think it would be important to make the request to my office, the chair and the vice chair. That's my opinion. This is a newly formed commission. And if there's another way you would like to do it, I would suggest you address it and see what the chair thinks.
Email works great.
Okay.
I am glued to my email all the time. So, yeah. And because I've been through the FOIA process working at state government, it's also easier to have that there
Right.
instead of try to pull things from cell phones or whatever. So email is great.
I also include that the agenda setting process will be, if there's a reason not to put it on the agenda, I'm sure between myself and the chair will come up with the reasoning and make sure we communicate it through the same format. And maybe there could be discussion if we need to have that discussion at the next available meeting of why that wasn't put on the agenda.
Okay, and then my question would be then for the actual agendas getting put together, is that going to be something that comes out of your office, or is that going to be something that our secretary now handles?
Would coordinate through my office with the secretary.
Yeah. All right. Sounds like a plan. That's awesome. Do we have any other questions on that? I know that when I become a part of any group, that's something that's always on my mind is how we get our topics and how that's decided. So if there's any other questions or comments, now would be a great time to ask.
My question is, if someone from the community wanted to put something on the agenda, how does that process go?
It's a great question. I think it would be important for them as each of you are advocates for the citizens and the citizen tree to accept those agenda items or concepts of agenda items. And you might have to have them work a little bit for you, write the reasoning, justification behind it. And if you're pushing that forth through the chair, I would ask that there be a memo and a justification for the chair and the vice chair to discern about before we give it to the secretary to put it on the agenda.
So go ahead, go ahead.
Follow-up question to that. So was there a space where people can submit those to, or do they have to send that through email? If they wanted to put,
Obviously, there's always an opportunity for public comment on agenda items, and at the end of the meeting, they would be able to have public comment at the end.
okay,
And however you, as the chair, which to engage the citizens during the meeting would be another way to generate topics for discussion.
So, the biggest thing that I've noticed, as watching the commission meetings for so long and then now being a commissioner is, one of the biggest challenges that the city has, especially for city government, is engaging the public to actually get their opinions on things. I go around and I give my business cards out to legitimately everybody, so they know that they have a person that they can come talk to in the city. And that's the thing that has community conversations and after a while, this is them setting meetings and one thing that's that he's done. I know that I have recently been stopped just kind of while walking around to have people ask me questions. And if I think that the questions are something that we need to address, I'll talk to Administrator Baugh about it pretty quickly. And nothing yet has gotten me to make it go on the agenda yet, because he usually has the answers for me. But I've gotten requests for agenda items from everyone and everywhere and any type of communication. So yes.
Yeah, I think it's important too to realize if the city commission meetings, it becomes a little bit uncomfortable, I think, for everyone when we don't respond. The commissioners are unable to respond to public comment. And we do that intentionally to not only formulate good responses down the road, because some things you just don't know the answer to. Also a good structure to a city commission meeting, a township meeting, a state meeting, a county meeting. The ones I've seen over the years, they always have time limits and they have those rules in place. You'll see some committees or cities or municipalities move away from that, and those meetings last 6, 7 hours sometimes. And that wouldn't be proper either for, there's a lot of families that are trying to watch and stay engaged with their municipality. And if they know it's going to be a 6-hour meeting, they become disenfranchised. But I would also say these subcommittees of a commission, they do offer for more engagement. So I'll leave it up to the chair and vice chair, how we want to communicate with the citizens and during public comment. So you'll see other commissions and committees of the city of Adrian engage more during public comment. And there's probably for good reason. There's probably enough time for it, but we may have to be mindful of everyone's time. And we might not have the answer sometimes. And some of these things that we're dealing with, as you spoke to earlier, are challenging in this world. And we might not have the answer. Obviously, especially things at the national level, we may not ever have the answer at the municipality level.
I did have a question for you actually. So I thought I saw on one of the previous agendas for the HRC that there was a time for, it was like a public hearing, like time to like have, yeah, just like for them to come up and specifically talk about things that they wanted, um, to be put on our agenda almost, for like the next meeting or things like that. But I don't remember where I saw that. It also could have been on the Ann Arbor website for their HRC. So I wanted to know if that was, if I was remembering correctly or not.
Well, we did have times where we did have an opportunity to address it at the next meeting. However, we are the People's Committee. And because we're the People's Committee, we listen. and we let them know ahead of time that we may not be able to address your issue tonight, or we might not be able to address your issue right now, but we will take it under advisement. Because when you do quick answers, they expect it to be done. You don't want to promise something that you can't give or is impossible. And some of the challenges today are impossible to give a direct answer. And when you do give a direct answer, they're expecting you to do it because your credibility goes, your integrity goes. And I'm not willing to challenge mine, so don't do that. But we are the people's community. Reach out. So everywhere you go, somebody is going to know who you are once they post who you are. And I'd like to remind you that the office that you hold is very important for our community. So you have to be above board. You have to watch what you say, especially to your own family. Seriously, the challenges are always there. There's a lot of things that you all could include that we did have in place. What I did as chair, I put a packet together for the new members. And I can make some suggestions as to what should go in the packet. And then we can look at and see what else needs to be included that was not included at that time. But when you do give information, make sure that it's correct information. And that if you don't know, be honest about it. I don't have that answer right now. I will be surely to get back with you as soon as I can get the answers that you need. And are you willing to be patient with me? So talk to me after the meeting. Now, allow them that time, because some people are not going to come to that podium, but they will catch you before you get out the door, or they want to call you, make yourself available. They're going to email you and they want to answer right now. So get back to them. The problem with the commission is you don't want a battle that you don't win, because you never win them. There's some commissioners that got kicked off of this because they responded. People will judge you based on what you say and do, but more about what you do.
Thank you. You think it's from your experience in this type of work? Was it in your experience that listening was just as important as?
It was more important than anything.
Okay.
It's like your children, if you have children, if you hear them out completely, they will answer their own question sometimes. People do the same thing. Well, what do you think? Sometimes I have to put the question back to them. Well, tell me what's on your mind. What would you do if you were in this situation? And today's children have the answer, don't they? They already know what they want to do, and sometimes you can't change their minds unless you interact with them. Interaction and contact makes people want to talk to you more. And when they talk to you, they give you all kinds of information. And sometimes people don't know that they've given you the answer that you can give back to them. So just don't be in such a rush to make it happen. You are doing it by listening.
Thank you for that, Wisdom. Anything else that we need to discuss on the agenda setting process?
Yes, only because I think that the scheduling of the HRC meetings can also go into questions about the agenda setting. So how often are we doing, is it set that we're doing quarterly meetings?
Let me defer to Michelle. I do, is it quarterly? Yeah.
Okay.
Quarterly.
Okay, so since we're meeting every couple of months at the beginning of this, when should we have the agenda set?
I prefer, we just made a change. I'd like to at least have a week of preparation because a number of us, including many of you have, especially you have real jobs. Besides,
I have a real job.
besides.
All of us have
So
real jobs.
it gives you at least a week to prepare. It allows our secretary to send what they believe the agenda to be, and we'll get it to myself. The reality is Michelle does all the real thinking and work, so if we can get it to the chair, vice chair, and myself a week before the scheduled meeting.
Cool. That was that was the only thing I had to question about, on that, yep.
I think it'd be appropriate at this point to move to the structure.
Yes.
HRC structure, so
Yes.
we'll turn the mic over to this commission.
Yes, so, structure to me is just kind of making sure that everybody has been, I mean, everyone's been on a board before, question mark. Okay, I thought you might be our new one. Okay, so structure wise, there's nothing really that's different about, where this subcommission is related to the city commission. Obviously, we're under the city commission, and the two in charge of us now are, Tony and Michaela. And then if we had, if both of them weren't here, we wouldn't even have quorum, correct?
It's, we would have the quorum if everything showed up.
Okay. Who would run the meeting then?
He would there would be a nomination from this dais to appoint a chair for the meeting.
Okay. Okay, so it wouldn't just be like one of the other officers, it would be somebody nominated.
Be a
Okay.
nomination from any of the members.
Okay. So like he had said earlier, anything that we wanted to do as far as like resolutions or any item that we have put in front of us, if we approve it, it will go to the city commission for them then to approve. So we don't do anything unless we have approval. So I wanted to make sure that was transparent. And that was my big part on that. Yeah, so did you have anything else to add to structure?
I have a question. We have bylaws still and ordinance. Everyone have the ordinance yet?
I
Do
think
we-
that would be important to
That's part of the copies.
be a part of the packet too.
Okay.
For the
Absolutely.
as we move ahead and whatever you want to offer to the chair and vice chair for consideration, what worked, what.
Well, we were in the process of changing some of the articles in ordinance. So I guess we need to find out what was the final draft. So that we could go through that final, or at least have a copy of the draft. Because mine's all,
I believe we can make sure, we can double check, but I believe that the final draft was approved.
we didn't approve it.
The city
The
commission
city
approved it.
commission did,
Right,
right?
okay. That is what is online currently, I believe.
Section 3831.
Yep.
That's the ordinance,
Yep,
right?
right.
So the bylaws are proposed.
Okay.
They were proposed, so that would have been something that we need to have a copy of and approve after the city commission looks at it,
Is there
or you go through it. The city administrator actually was
This-
finalizing it for us.
the city administrator
Mhm.
was looking at the bylaws last time. I think at this point, it might be a good idea for that maybe, I hate to wait till the next quarter, so let's see where we're at. I need to look at them first and give them to the chair and vice chair. And that could be another agenda item, or maybe it's something to move right to the commission.
Mhm.
So how does that work? How do we decide what moves right to the
But
commission?
I
like
get to
that?
see if it was already
Right.
approved by the prior, because I believe the prior setting
We didn't approve it.
HRC, they never made it past here
Well, it was in review,
in review.
actually.
From the audience, we learned February 28th, 2023, that it was a discussion item,
Yes.
and we still haven't moved it past this commission. So I think we have to bring it back.
It has been passed this.
So I think we need to redistribute that and have that as an agenda item next time. If the chair and the vice chair agree to that.
Is it possible, can you tell me which months are we meeting? Because it looks like we're gonna go into summer.
So if we are doing quarterly, March, April, May, June,
It would be June.
the 9th would be our next meeting. And I know one of the things that the city commission does at the beginning of each year is they take a look at the proposed dates for their meetings. It's very easy for the city commission to do because it's every first and third Monday, every month. So I think, another good thing to put on the agenda for our next HRC meeting would be a proposed, schedule, for our meetings, just so we don't have to keep looking it up like this, and so we can get it posted on, online. So everyone knows. I think that, the meetings for the HRC should be very easy for people to find, where they are and when they are, since, that's our whole point. So I think it would be a very good agenda item next time.
Also, can I say that, we have to put a notice, public notice up for the year. So when you do the public notice, I could show what it looks like. We went through the administration's community. And what it does is it's posted in the city. So that tells you when you're having your meetings, and this is done at the beginning of the year. So it's posted by January. That would be every meeting that we're holding. Now, special meetings, we go through you to have us to meet, and I'm thinking if we have to do this in June, maybe we need to have a special meeting before that to make sure that our members know before we come back together to finalize that we have a training, maybe just going through the packet of information.
I think that would be a really good idea to have, a meeting about the bylaws, the schedule, and then the new packet. Yeah.
In the ordinance.
In the ordinance, yep. Just to get us started on things before our summer meeting, and it might be easier for everyone to have a hold on of it before our next actual meeting.
I do have a question. Looking at this is great. Why are our meetings only quarterly?
That was a decision by the last, commission.
No,
The
city
city commission, yep.
Oh, I was like, it looked like this was every month.
yeah, that was.
Yes.
Mhm.
Depending on at the next meeting, what we deem as a commission the goals are, I don't think we should settle on quarterly just yet. So if there's a lot of things that we need to address and get done, I think quarterly is too far apart, not enough meetings. I don't know if anyone else feels the
I
same.
literally was about to say amen.
Well,
So, yes.
remember, every city commission and the HRC commission, any board can add a meeting.
Okay,
Even if we schedule those public meetings, which is what they were planning on doing, because we never went to the quarter yet.
okay,
So once they schedule we schedule our regular meetings, then we can find space in between that to do the necessary things that you need to do to learn what to do before your meetings. Because when we have our meetings, we have the public present.
Right.
So we have to address their issues as well. So we won't have the time we need
Mhm.
to deal with the paperwork and learning. So
Yeah,
it could be added in. Special meetings that we have is when we have town hall meetings, where it's a public hearing. We schedule people to come and speak, and people respond, people come out for those kinds of events. That could be separate from the quarterly meeting. They
Mhm.
just don't want us meeting just to meet.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing I was thinking of. The having public hearings specifically to have like the city know that this is all we're doing during this meeting is scheduling it for the public to come see us. I like that.
Narrow and specified. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
I also agree. I think that once we figure out what we want, things to look like and we look through the bylaws and whatnot, I think that it definitely is something that is worth bringing up if we do think that we need more scheduled meetings besides, what we just talked about. I don't think it's off the table.
There's a couple other things that we have to, and we can put it in the packet, is the Open Meetings Act handbook, and also the City of Adrian Ethics and Values Code. We have to abide by. Everything that we need to put it together and then meet and go through it. Give you time to read it, study it a little bit, and then come together and make all the changes we need to make.
So saying that, how do we call a special meeting if we were to want one?
The rule would be, we only have to provide 18 hours public notice, correct, Michelle? Yes. 18 hours public notice. So I would believe we're almost there of calling one at this point, but I think it'd be important for the chair and the vice chair and myself to receive that information. Then go through it, then we would have conversations about the best date for that. And then we would post it publicly with the city. But this will give us a little bit of time. So it's March right now. I would assume it would be pretty quick. But first we need some time to digest the information so we can actually have a productive special meeting.
And when it's to call a special meeting specifically, so like does the chair need to say, okay, it's time for a special meeting, or does it have to be a certain number of people, or to like actually tell you, hey, can we now request this?
I have to look up the law to that. I don't know if there's any thing for the commission meetings, the mayor has to address it. So I would ask her, we could probably follow that same format.
Okay.
Because the mayor needs to know, she's the mayor.
Ah.
She needs to know, and she needs to be the one ultimately in charge of those things.
Okay, perfect.
And
Great.
mayor's easy to work with. So, oh, she's in the room.
Cool. Okay, I think unless anyone has any other questions or discussion topics for that specifically,
How are we getting those documents? Or I can do a Google search. I'm really good at.
We would
but-
definitely, once we adjourn for today, we would get the proper email addresses coordinated.
Right.
And ask that those things either be emailed or dropped off, and they would be communicated through my office to everyone.
great.
Anything left for the structure of the HRC? Anything left for the good of the cause? If not, I'd ask to move to public comment.
All right, I got a bunch. Mayor Heath, City of Adrian. I'm going to try to go fast. So I misspoke because I didn't look far enough down. It was actually the March 28th, 2023 meeting. In the agenda, we had HRC bylaws update, review, and approval of updated copy. I don't believe it happened then. We had a meeting after that, and it's not on there, but I don't believe that we did approve it because I think there was still some discussion going on from my memory of this. I would almost be 100% certain that Commissioner Bernard still has that copy from when it was emailed. I will look through my emails as well and see if I can find it, but I bet she has it because she's awesome like that with all that stuff. And that was the other thing I really wanted to say is that this is a lady that has a lot of knowledge and has done a lot. She's been here from the beginning of HRC and just really lean on her as well for all of her knowledge and everything that she brings from the community as well. I would ask that on the HRC web page, so what we had this question brought up to a planning commission meeting and a ZBA one as well about how do we contact Chair Jacobitz when it's the planning commission meeting, because your emails are not out there because you don't want your emails on our webpage, okay? So your emails are not out there. So how do you contact? So City Administrator Chad Baugh and I talked about it and about putting a line on there that says, please direct all questions to City Administrator Chad Baugh. He will forward them on to the HRC or the planning commission or whoever it is. So I would ask that that is put on there as well for the HRC so that you're getting that communication, because I feel like that is very crucial because some people don't know how to get a hold of you. One thing that the HRC did in the past, this is not something you guys can do right now because you just got to get your footing and get going, but they did like a community forum, like a town hall, and it was like about something very relevant and something that was going on in our area. So like they brought in a bunch of mental health resources and they presented to you, but then you can be the sharer of that info and take that out to the community. That's one example. I think that is a great thing to have as a goal to bring back as part of your meeting because I think it was very crucial and very important. And I'm going to run out of time. So the other thing is just that for these meetings, yes, it can be a special meeting or if you need to add, but yes, I do agree. Okay, I'm going to run out of time. Sorry. But thank you so much for being willing to serve. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. And like Commissioner Bernard said, people are going to approach you now. They're going to know you're on this commission. So please bring those concerns forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Any other public comment? Nothing online, nothing on Zoom. Okay, commissioner comments. I would like to start all the way to my right. Commissioner Bernard, any comments?
I'll let you all go before me.
Okay.
That's okay.
Sure. Anybody like to go first?
I would like to say thank you to Lady Bernard for continuing to sit on this commission. I value so much the historical knowledge that you bring to the commission, and I'm just grateful to learn from you. And you do have so much wealth of knowledge, so thank you for continuing to want to serve the community.
I'm going to echo that and say thank you for continuing to serve for all of the same reasons. It's wonderful to have someone who knows what they're doing because you've been here doing it for a long time, and also someone who is wise, so can remind us why we're here to do this. That's important. I think we all need that, particularly when we're serving the public. I also want to take this opportunity to thank everyone else up here for being a part of this. It's important. So for some of us, it's a part of what we already do as our jobs, but it's also a part of just being a human in our community. And I think we can do some really interesting and important things if we try. So I just want to thank everyone and also just thanks for having me do this because, I'm a little person with a big brain. So it's kind of fun to be added on to something that I feel is very important to me personally. I actually only ever came to one commissioner meeting, and it was because I needed to talk about what was happening to the dissolving HRC at the time. So this feels like a sort of full circle moment for me, but I'm really grateful to be a part of this and to have you all here with me.
I wanted to also thank everybody for applying and for reinventing the HRC with us. Um, yes, you came to speak about the HRC, and your dad came to speak about the HRC. Um, so it's very cool to see that that has now trickled into what we're going to be doing, and the legacy of what we can do for Adrian now. Um, I also wanted to address the mayor's public comment. Right now, we have on the website that we have um, me as the point person if anyone had any questions. We can keep that, or we can have it be Administrator Baugh. I don't mind either one.
I love the idea.
Okay. And also since I have been giving out my business cards like it's my job. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having mine there, because it's easy to find. So, yes, and oh, and I also specifically wanted to thank Administrator Bob for being here, because again, I think it was really, really important to have him here and to be a guide for the HRC, and I think that that's going to be vital to our success. So, thank you for everything to all of you, and that's it.
I did have a question about the communication. So with the has the city ever thought about creating an email for the different commission boards? So that when like there's a chair, they can just have that email that's like on there. So there's like a direct communication. I don't know if the city has ever like,
Yes, we actually have, and we're still discussing that. We haven't come to a final solution on that issue
okay.
at this point.
Oh, you are looking at me. It's okay. I have volumes, but the volumes won't help you until you get the groundwork done. So the groundwork is learn what it is that we are supposed to be about. First of all, what is the ordinance? Then look at it and see what it is, where you find yourself, and what it is that you can do to help the people in this community. That doesn't mean you have to walk around and show a sign, but when you are approached, you will find a way to give them something that not only that they need, but they need to know about. I refer to us like a Bible. I don't know how religious you are, it doesn't matter. The Bible is the best book in the library, if it's in there. But we are like that. We have lots of information, but it doesn't get out to the people if you don't live what your Bible says you are. That's your standards, and you develop more by knowledge. And whether you know it or not, you're going to have to take extra time. Sometimes I'm in the middle of the night learning what I have to do for a month away. Don't wait till the last minute. Learn now. And so when we give you the guidelines that you need, the Open Meeting Act, learn it and carry it around with you. Some of our senators and representatives give these things away. Learn what your state representative is doing. Make personal contact with them, because you need to be able to go to them when you can't get an answer. They can go to Lansing. I also visited, when I first started, I visited HRCs in other cities, especially Lansing, Ann Arbor, Jackson. Those are close to us. But Lansing is the hub that generates a lot of information, and they are paid staff in Lansing, HRC. So every municipality has their own way of doing things. We don't get to do it all here, but we can improvise some other things that we don't have with what other people are doing. We don't have to mirror them. We can just use them as source of information. I carry around a lot of stuff, and I can tell you I have a book for every year that I've been here, because I need to have something in print, because the Historic Museum does not have it. The city doesn't have everything that I have, but you need to have your own. And so make sure that you do it. Don't rely on your computer. Mine crashed. So when it crashes, sometimes you can't get that information again. So be your own person and know that you're not going to get it all right every time, but you are going to get it right most of the time, because your heart is in the right place. And you got to keep it there and don't take it personal. And thank you for the comments.
No other commissioner comments, and before I ask for a motion to adjourn, on the agenda today, we have consideration for our next meeting. The way we set up the agenda today is viewing the possible mission statement and vision statement the next time we meet. And I think it would be appropriate for those different considerations to be provided to the chair and vice chair for the next meeting.
You want them to be provided now?
I believe we have access to that right now, if you want to give it to the chair.
Actually, there's gonna be an extra. That's fine. I'll get that.
Commissioners, just for the audience, just handed out an HRC outline draft. It talks about the mission statement thoughts, some ideas around that, many options to look at. 6 options. So I will turn it over to the dice.
Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is adjourned.